Card collecting.
Okay.
This is a huge thing with this generation of kiddos. They love collecting cards.
Well, I did.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe. I guess it's been a huge thing with generation of kiddos forever.
Right. Okay. So that's why not use it?
Why reinvent the wheel?
Welcome to the Gamify Education Podcast.
All right, Mr. Becker, today's episode, we're going to be talking about kind of nuts and bolts, the mechanics of Gamify Education. We go really into depth with this in our book, but we know that we're trying to reach people where they're at, and this is where they're at. So if you wanted to read the book, that's fantastic, but we're going to give you kind of a 1,000-foot view of what it means to gamify your classroom, maybe a 50-foot view. Like we're gonna get pretty. It's not gonna be that elevated. But if you really want to get nitty gritty, we wrote a whole book on it and the whys behind everything. But why don't you start us off?
So, in this whole adventure, the biggest issue was like most teachers, I think, would say, hey, gamifying education or like making a classroom game. Yeah, this sounds really neat. Like this sounds fun, but there's no way I could do it. Like there's no way that this is going to be possible. The resources out there when we first started, like that was my reaction. Like, oh, this sounds great. But then when you really think about it, it's like, but how is this actually going to work? And how am I going to maintain this over the course of 160 to 180 days?
Right. So through that process, we worked out kind of like you came with these ideas of like, I want to use XP like a video game, and then I want to use gold. And you had this moment where in your classroom you were like giving gold for something and you realized that didn't feel right. You want to share that story?
So we had two things that we could give out to students. We had XP tokens and we had gold. Well, but first we only had the XP tokens.
And XP stands for experience points in video game language.
So but what we decided really early on was XP. There was one simple rule that we said. XP was for learning.
Yeah.
Okay. So anytime that the kids showed learning, you could give them XP.
Right.
But then I had like kids in math class. Now all of a sudden, because I was just holding up a single like token, right? And now all of a sudden, all these kids are raising their hands. And some of them had no idea what the right answer was and got it wrong. But I wanted to reward them with something, but I didn't want to necessarily give them XP because they didn't actually think the right answer.
Right.
They were just engaged in the lesson now, and that's why we gave out gold.
Right. It's like the try. You're like
right.
great try. Here's your piece of gold. It's not a consolation prize because they really did put something out there. Like they put an effort out and they put themselves on the line, which for a lot of kids, that's a big step. Like that, raising your hand and being okay, being wrong, or just trying in the first place.
So in the book, we talk about the 4 cornerstones of Gamify Education, right? In which gold and XP are 2 of them.
So I feel like we're putting the cart before the horse here. Right. So let's back up a little bit and explain how we came to define these for ourselves. Because really this came about through the writing of the book. Mm-hmm. We had defined these systems in our classrooms, but not really labeled them, truly. We had kind of built this big, intricate classroom game that we were playing. It was loosely based off of the game Risk, because I really enjoy that game. We had this big map on Google Draw that was labeled like it was a big map that you had created, and then it was overlaid with a hexagonal grid. Hexagonal grid.
Hexagonal.
Yeah. And so students could make moves on this map, and it was all about like claiming territory. So as they moved, they left like almost like a snail slime trail behind them of color that they belonged to teams. And so they were like trying to claim the most territory on this map. But then if they ran into each other, then their characters would fight each other in our game. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of that. We're not going to get into the weeds of that. If you want an episode of that, like leave a comment, and we can definitely get an episode on the nitty gritty mechanics of that game. But I don't know. That's not the purpose of this. But after that first year of doing this, and the results that we saw on a COVID year, not just a regular year, like we saw, student growth that was 4 standard deviations above the mean, like 99th of the 99th percentile of growth in our classrooms on our test scores. And we realized like, oh dang, not only is this effective, like we can't go back. We're stuck doing this now because there's no better way. We might have discovered the best way to get the most out of kids, or maybe there is a better way, but no one's discovered it yet.
And we even had fun in the COVID classroom.
Right.
Like, come on.
Right. Like when everyone else was like, like developing a minor alcohol habit, like we were enjoying our jobs. So when that year happened, and when we were done with that year, we realized how powerful of a tool this was. And I remember coming to you, I was like, well, we should write a book on this, because no one else has, and this is a powerful thing. And I think that like, if we do this, we write this book, this can help a lot of people. And so through that process of starting to write the book, we started defining what it means to like, what is if you stripped everything away from our classroom games and boiled it down to its essence and its purest form, that would be the 4 cornerstones of gamification, of Gamify Education, right?
Yep.
And so that's what we came up with. We realized for a classroom game to function, it needs to have XP, you need to have gold, you need to have levels, and then there needs to be differentiation built into the system. That's it.
And that was the problem, is that nothing that I saw ever defined this very sequential,
Right.
logical progression of how you could set up a game. And because of these 4 cornerstones, like you could use anything.
Yeah.
Anything. And you could do it.
Yeah.
But one caveat with that though too is that initial game was so complicated. It was so much. It was even so much for me. And
Yeah.
I love complications in board games and complexities.
I remember my pitch for the book for you was like, we've got to make it so simple, a 40-year-old lady can do it. And like, we just want to make this accessible. That's the point. We want to make this accessible to everyone. This isn't for 20-year-old guys who spend their time on the weekends playing Marvel, whatever.
There's lots of ones.
Okay.
Legendary?
Yeah.
The card game?
The card game that you were ranked in the world.
No. That was an app.
Okay, sorry.
That was called Marvel Battle Lines.
Okay. But anyway, so this is not for that person. Like that, like we want to be able to create something that's not for the person who is like playing Dungeons and Dragons on the weekend. It's for everyone. And so how did we translate that? And I think that in the book, for the most part, we did a decent job of that, but I think we could have gone simpler. And I do think that for the upcoming generation of teachers coming into the profession, this just makes sense. So there's a certain subset of people where there's just like, it clicks. And I think that the next generation of teachers are going to discover this, and it's just going to be like, of course, this is the way. This is the thing to do. However, I don't want to leave anyone behind.
And I think that's the encouragement for teachers right now. Like, even if you are like a 40 or 50-year-old teacher, like your students are going to pick up on this very easily, even if you think that this is going to be difficult.
It is immediate. that they understand the assignment. It is without explanation, the students understand what is going on. It is the teacher that takes time to catch up to the game now, because the kids just know it. It is their language. It is their grammar. It is how their mind processes things. Okay, so in all of that, we boiled it down to these 4 cornerstones. So we have XP, again, gold, levels, and differentiation.
And for this, I say we disregard gold and we just talk about XP and levels and differentiation.
Well, yes and no, because what I wanted to do for this was explain how I am implementing this in a 3rd grade classroom at my school, helping a teacher to implement this
in the classroom. Do you use
classroom.
gold and XP?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
And so gold is actually different. It's gained in a different way. And so I'm going to explain that.
Okay.
And then you can give me feedback.
All right. I've never heard this before, so this is all on the cuff. Off the cuff.
Off the cuff?
Off the cuff?
I'm a wild man. Mr. Becker will tell you I just shoot from the hip, and then I like to see. I'm an experimenter. I like to just see how things go. Right now, in my school, this is my 2nd year there. I've got a grade level, and then 2nd and 3rd. So I've got, a number of classrooms that I'm managing, helping to manage these classroom games in. And this 3rd grade one that I just set up, I think is for everyone.
All right. But even before that, let's just be clear, right?
Okay.
What we have here, Gamify Education LLC, is not part of the school district that we work for.
Sure.
We are not making any money on this. In fact, we're probably losing money.
Oh, I spend so much of my own money on this. Yeah.
We are losing money trying to help the students in our own school, right?
I'm not losing money. I mean, I'm donating my money. I don't consider that a loss.
But I just want to make sure there is no conflict of interest here. Like all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait a second, we got Gamify Education LLC making money because he's in his specific role. Very
good. No, that is definitely not happening. And we've talked to our superintendent. We have a clear outline of what we can and cannot do, and we have a very good relationship with our district. We're very blessed to work where we work. So we're trying to help as many teachers as possible. For this 3rd grade teacher, I've invested, like $30 in just materials for this classroom that I've just bought myself.
And the other thing,
no school budget, no taxpayer dollars.
I know.
Like, this is just me helping her out. And this is another important thing that we want to mention is, like, we're going to be providing a lot of free materials for teachers. Like, we really want to get things out there that are just, this is for you, teacher. Like, here's where you find it. Here's how you use it. So a lot of what this is going to be and the content that we produce, maybe not podcasts, but videos, is going to be, here's a material, here's how you use it, here's where you can find it. Not like, here's where you can buy it.
Right.
So making that perfectly clear.
I like it.
I like your, thank you for that. Anyways. Okay. So this all started when I ran a school PD day on how to use Khan Academy in your classroom. And for those of you who don't know, Khan Academy is an online program for learning literally anything. And we use it in our school as a review tool primarily. So it's not the first teach. It's not used as like an assessment to guide learning. This is just like a tool that once you've taught something, it helps solidify that learning or keep it relevant. You and I both have used Khan Academy in our classrooms. As far as like screen-based tools, it's a good one. That's my personal opinion. I don't know if I'm sure you share the same opinion.
There's no glamour to it.
Yeah.
I mean, kids don't love getting on their computers to do Khan Academy because it's not a game. It's just math problem after math problem. They say if it's right, or
but it's also
give you a hint.
The problems are very conceptual in their nature, and it's like very well outlined as far as like the sequence of events within their learning scope. And then the key to this professional development was the fact that like it's mastery based. Like they have to get things right to move on in the program. If they're getting things wrong, they can't just guess and check and then move on to another problem. It doesn't allow it. And then I was like, this is how I used it in my 5th grade classroom. And I explained how I used XP to, like, if a student reached proficiency, they got a certain amount of XP. If they reached mastery, they got a certain amount of XP. And then they had these milestones for reaching certain percentages of their 5th grade math course. So at 5%, they got a bonus. At 10%, 15, 20, and so on until you got 100%. Right. And, I had started implementing this in 5th grade before this professional development. And one of my favorite humans, who's a 5th grade teacher, she was my daughter's teacher. She was just going on like, I don't understand how this gamification works, but it works. We started it one day, and all of a sudden, all the kids want to do is work. And so I ended up helping this 3rd grade teacher to design this game for her classroom. And there's only really 2 things the students are earning XP for, because really I'm baby stepping her into it. And then we're like 3 weeks in right now. So this is very fresh, very new. So the listeners right now are getting a very like snapshot in time picture of how to develop a game. Very real. This isn't polished. This isn't like, I don't have all the answers.
And this is even at the end of the school year. Like this is March, April. Like,
yeah, and that's a consideration for like how I did things, because I really wanted to, like, normally I would start the XP levels, like the amounts that I'm giving, be very small, so that they slowly build. But I'm like, if we're gonna get them motivated over the next
state testing coming up.
I got 2 months basically. Yep. I got to throw a lot at them, and that's kind of how I ran this game. Well, I went in, I set it up, I got them set up on Khan Academy. I explained how they earn XP, and then the students basically, for proficiency, you earn a certain amount of XP. For a mastery, you earn a certain amount of XP. And then for milestones, you earn XP and then a gold bonus.
Okay.
So that's the
difference.
That's the difference. That's where the gold comes in.
Okay.
So as they turn in their XP, then there's AR as well. So Accelerated Reader is a program where students can read books, take tests, and then they get points for those books. Well, we've turned those points we've integrated it into this classroom game. So
my dad said that he did AR when he was a kid, but it was a paper pencil version, and you had to like fill in like a Scantron type of thing. This thing is old, by the way.
That is some of the most shocking news No way.
That's what he said.
Your dad's like 60.
He's going to be 70. Yeah.
What?
We might have to fact check this.
Okay. That's crazy.
I know.
Anyway, so AR is ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's pretty much everywhere. Everyone knows what it is. You love it, hate it.
Or if it's not AR, it's something that would be like the equivalent.
Yeah. There's a system out there where kids take tests on books and then they get points.
Very good.
Well, we adapted that and say like, okay, a point is 100 XP. 2 points is 200 XP. Like that's what I give a lot of XP because that's, I'm trying to get more XP to get kids leveled up faster because of the time of the school years. Like when we played our classroom game, a point was like 40 XP depending on where you're at. And this is differentiation is going to come into this for a second. So they can earn their XP, they can earn their gold. Well, when they turn in their XP, they level up.
So in the book we had this couple pages on it.
Sure.
That we started with hexes as XP tokens. Do you still use those stamped hexes for everybody now?
No.
What do you use?
No physical tokens.
No tokens.
No tokens. Yeah. So in this classroom, I come in once a week.
Okay, because you're not the classroom teacher.
Correct.
You're not physically handing out tokens.
Correct.
Okay.
So like if you are a person who is me in your school, if you're a behavior specialist, if you are a learning facilitator, if you're a coach, if you're an MTSS, whatever you call yourself, and you're listening, reach out. Like, I can teach you how to do this for your school. Like, this is a real thing that you can go and implement in your school that works, that really does make a change in student learning. Anyways, so they turn in their XP and then they level up.
So when you say, I think that's what confused me. Like, they don't have any XP to turn
Correct.
in. Like, you are taking what they earned in the.
So here's how it works. Here's how it works on my end. I'm going to get real easy. So I've got a spreadsheet that has the amount of proficiencies since the beginning of the year to the last time I checked. It tells me how many proficiencies they have and how many masteries they have. So let's say there's a line in that spreadsheet that says Johnny, 9 and 23. Yeah. Okay. When I update that, I go to the mastery report in Khan Academy, and now it says 10 and 24. I put 10 and 24 in the next columns over, and then I got a formula in that last column that automatically calculates how much XP they earned for the difference there. So, and it takes into account what's already been mastered So
they're not turning in anything. You are looking at progress,
correct,
which turns into XP, which now turns into levels.
Right. Now, if it was my own personal classroom, again, this is the thing, is like, there's layers to this. Is it better to have physical tokens? I think so. It's more fun.
All right.
Yeah, to get a thing that you hold on to, sure.
And then dump out your whole pouch of XP tokens on the teacher's desks and say, hey, this is all I earned.
Or like, you did a big thing and you hit a milestone and you get the 1,000 XP token, the one that exists in the classroom for the week to hold on. That's a big deal. But is it necessary? No. And it's better, it's more fun, and you get a little bit more motivation out of them. But this gets 90% of it. That's not bad.
So you're going into these classrooms 15 minutes a week?
10 minutes.
A week?
Yeah.
First of all, I got a couple questions.
Okay.
I feel like I'm the host now.
All right.
So you go in about 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. What is the reaction, first of all, when you enter that room then?
Oh, cheer. Like literal cheers.
Like, you get cheers.
Yes, I do.
How does that help your ego, Mr. Lamberson?
It doesn't hurt it. I can tell you that much. Like, it is one of those things, because this third grade classroom walks past my office on their way back from specials, and I come to their classroom on Thursdays after specials, and I see them like, oh, there he is. And then like they walk around out of our building, and then I can see them in the window, and then I come out of my door and they're in line and they're like, yeah.
Because it's level up day.
Yes.
All right.
And you know what level up day is in their classroom? It is literally just me going in and posting the new levels in their classroom where they're at.
You were telling me that like you did this like baseball cuts roster or something like that. Explain that.
So I have a classroom list of all the students and their levels, and then this classroom has their current bank account, so the amount of gold. And this is just kept on a spreadsheet. And so I like once all the XPs are updated, and again, this is just ran with Google formulas. Like, if you want to know how to do the XP formula, it's very simple. It's whatever their level they're on is, you multiply that by 10, and that's the XP they need to be able to level up to the next level. So 10 XP gets from 1 to 2. It takes 100 XP to go from 10 to 11. It takes 120 to go from 12 to 13. So it's not that hard to program into a Google Sheet or to an Excel sheet to run that formula for your classroom. And I even have it running as a script, so that it just, like, I click a button and it like pops everyone's out for me.
And that's how we started it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we didn't even use a script. I just made a really, really, really long formula that did it. And then sometimes it broke because if a kid earned like 2,000.
Because I was always giving...
You were giving too much XP out. So then they were gaining too many levels at one time. And then it broke. And then you had to just do a little math and say, okay, I'm just going to do this at different segments. Like, if they earned 1,000, I'll put in 500 first. And then I'll go put another 500 in.
So basically, I'm printing my spreadsheet. So column 1 is their current rank in the game. And so in this game that I've created, it's a card collecting game. And this
So
is
you
going to...
created this game?
I created this, how to use this game in a classroom. Yes, Mr. Becker created a card collecting game. This is, by the way, going to be available 100% free to use. Gamifyeducation.com. This material is going to be there for you to print and use. It's, again, we're not trying to make money off of this. Like, you want to use Baby Battle Masters? That's what we're calling it right now.
We're calling it.
That's the game that we're playing in this classroom. So within this game...
Can I just say, though, real fast?
Yes, go ahead.
Is that Baby Battle Masters is the second, third grade equivalent type of thing, but there's also a like fourth, fifth, sixth one, and currently I'm working on even like a seventh, eighth.
So the original Battle Masters game was a fourth grade game that was built to help facilitate the learning of factors and primes and composites, and then also Greek and Latin roots.
Yeah, a bonus.
Yeah, it was a bonus built in. What? 10 years ago?
Probably more, like 12.
12? In Mr. Becker's fourth grade classroom?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a completely new game, though, that we kind of designed. You originally designed it for your wife for her counseling, right?
Yeah. So she was having small group counseling sessions, and she was trying to get a buy-in for these kids. And I think they had to give up either lunch or recess or something to come see her. So she wanted to incentivize it. So she wanted a game to play that she knew the kids would be interested in, card collecting game.
Yeah.
And she even had some kids one time say like, "Hey, can I come see you 2 times a week instead of just one?" Right. So
I adopted that when I moved into this role to my behavior intervention programs and my check and check outs. Kids were earning these for that. Well, we then have updated it and redefined it and rebuilt it for this third grade classroom game that I'm doing, and we're calling it Baby Battle Masters. So within this game, there's 5 levels of cards, right?
5.
Okay. I didn't know there was a 5th level until recently. So there's 5 levels of cards, and they have stars on the cards. And so there's 1-star cards, 2-star cards, 3-star cards, so on and so forth. To be able to purchase a 1-star card and use it, you have to be a 1-star trainer. And what that means in my game is that you're a level 10. Okay. So you've turned in enough XP to level up to where you're at a level 10. And so on my spreadsheet, the first column is their rank, the amount of stars that they have. And so it says trainer rank. And so like right now it'll say like 3-star, 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 2-star, 2-star, 1-star, 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 spectator, 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 spectator.
Spectator.
Yes.
Explain that.
So spectator means that you haven't put enough, like you haven't earned enough XP to be able to use a card or to be a trainer. And so
if you're a 1-star, you have to be at 10, level 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so 9 through
exactly.
1.
Like you have to build. You got to get enough to be in the game. Like you don't just get to be in the game. And we started this years ago with
we were peasants.
Yeah, students gonna get their heroes in our game immediately. The whole class started out as peasants, and we had these little characters that we posted on the wall. Pitchforks wearing their burlap sacks. It was so funny. But
what was really important with that idea was, and this will help out a lot of teachers, is that it's not a one time everybody is changing.
Yeah.
That it was a slow rollout, because you would have kids that would become
the first year we played it was too much. Because we tried to get everybody to understand the first day and choose their characters the first day.
Well, that was in March.
Right. Yeah. And I did that with the 5th grade class this year that I started late. And we just rolled right into because we have to adapt. So 1-star, like a level 20 is 2 stars, and then a level 30 is 3 stars. And then we start making it a little bit more difficult. A level 55 is 4 stars, and so on and so forth. So I haven't defined a level 5 yet because I'm kind of waiting. Right now I have one student who's kind of running away. Within the first 3 weeks that we played the game, he finished 60% of his Khan Academy mission. I got parent square messages from his mom just like, thank you, he's obsessed with learning now. Like, how dare I? And it was funny. He even said these words when I came in and explained the game. He said, Mr. Lamberson, "Are you trying to get me addicted to learning?"
Wow.
And I said, "Yes, I am." I said, "What a great thing to be
You should
addicted
put that
to."
on a t-shirt.
I know, right?
You also sent me an email
Yes.
from that third grade classroom
Yeah.
teacher. This is what she said. Because I was asking him, I've said, like, okay, so the kids are now into this. They're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
But has this really like affected the overall classroom atmosphere? The teacher says the scholars, these are the students.
Yeah, that's what we call students at our school.
The scholars are obsessed with the game. And then somebody, can you get him into the game so he can be?
Yeah.
And maybe that's more of a differentiation type of thing
And
too.
I think that it's funny because she says they're obsessed with the game. What does that mean? They're not obsessed with the game.
I mean, how long do these kids even play the game?
Like 10 minutes a week.
Have they even played? Okay, so Battle Masters is an actual card game that you can play. It's not just collecting cards. And the original Battle Masters was because it was math heavy.
So they're not actually obsessed with this game. That's the thing.
Because they haven't even played
They're
it.
obsessed with doing the learning to earn XP to level up in the game. And I think that's the important distinction there is like the game itself has its own mechanics that they haven't even gotten into yet. Like they're all mostly still just a level 1, and that's okay. That's where they should be after like a few weeks. That's the normal progression of things. We have a couple students who are like wildly running away with this, which is fantastic. I love to see that, but it's like the average student shouldn't be a level 40 something right now. That's not normal this time to go that fast in this progression, but it allows that whole idea of your runners to run.
But there is a little bit of I can say danger. But what are you going to do to make sure that he doesn't break the game then? Like he becomes too powerful, too fast, that now all of a sudden that's going to limit the energy from others.
Depending on the classroom game. Right? So in our specific classroom game where you're leveling up, like really dictated the power that your character has, I would agree. And I would probably put some brakes on it. But would I? I mean, I don't know. Because what he has done is inspired other students around him to play catch up. Truly.
There is a fine line though. I've seen it. I've seen it both ways.
Yeah.
Like you can become better because of the one that is pulled ahead, but you can also create a sense of, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
He's got
it.
it.
I mean, that's not the concern of this discussion.
Okay.
So with this particular game, it doesn't matter because he doesn't actually get more other than what he's gaining for himself. So he doesn't have power over other students because of his levels.
But if you actually played the game, then he would.
But there's even breaks put into the game to make sure that doesn't happen. So in the card game itself, like he can't bring all his cards to a game.
Sure.
So he can only bring a certain amount of stars to a battle. And so there's already a governor built into the game. And so I'm not that concerned about it. All right.
I was just trying to segue you into differentiation.
Right. So that's how I'm utilizing XP levels. And then gold comes from those milestones. And so the milestones are right now in Khan Academy, the percentages of their third grade math that they've done. And then AR, it'll be like points accumulated. So there'll be milestones for that.
What do they do with the gold?
The gold is how they purchase the trading cards. And so within this game, those cards can only be purchased if they're that certain level of trainer. They can only purchase cards with gold. And so the gold right now, I just went in and kind of did some math to make sure that a student could buy all the cards if they were to max out the amount of gold that I put into the system. And so like right now, like you can do a random pick from the level 1s for 300 gold, or you can pay a 200 gold premium, so 500 gold to choose your level 1 card that you want. So,
and that could be a governor as well. Like the kid that's running away right now, maybe he doesn't have enough gold to buy all the stuff.
Right.
But he is at the level in which he could do it.
Right. But that's how I'm using gold in that classroom. Now, is it perfect? No, but it's working pretty well. Like I think there's better ways to use gold.
Does the classroom has the classroom teacher asked you like, hey, can I now take some of the responsibility and can I use XP for normal math quizzes or for just student behavior?
Not yet. Not yet. But however, we're so new into this. Like this is still so fresh in the classroom. What I think that I really like to roll things out slow. Classroom games, any kind of teacher implementation that I'm doing with teachers, I like to move very slow because it feels way more comfortable than just trying to hit you at once with everything. And so that is definitely where we're going. Like, I think that very near in the future, I'm going to hand her a bag of gold and say, hey, think about how you can use this in your class. Because she's actually already used gold with my behavior interventions. So I have had, and I'll explain more about this later. If you really want to hear about it, just let us know. But I have specific behavior interventions that utilize gold for positive reflection. And then she has gold in her classroom that she can use to reward students who are on behavior interventions as well from my things that I'm doing.
So ultimately, your behavior interventions can match up to that classroom game.
In fact, I've played the exact same game I developed this system in my behavior intervention setting.
Right.
What I'm doing in this classroom was designed in a behavior intervention setting.
That was more just like teachers think.
Yeah. So the fourth cornerstone is differentiation. And so here's how I'm differentiating it right now in this classroom.
Well, first of all, why? Why is differentiation so important to this? And to me, this was really, really important.
Yeah.
Because in the initial research of Gamify Education, a Gamify element could be a leaderboard. Right? And we've seen leaderboards. I've done leaderboards in my own room before I introduced a game. And usually the same thing always happened in leaderboards.
Yeah. So the thing that we really wanted our leaderboard to be, if you wanted to call it a leaderboard, is we wanted it to be a reflection of the most learned. And so not the smartest
or the highest achiever,
but the most learned.
And my brother, he was the one that gave me a really good quote when we were writing the original book and making a classroom game. He said, just make sure that the smartest kids aren't the only ones who are the most powerful in the game.
Always kind of like the middling kids that had been like living in the middle and flying under the radar, that just like all of a sudden the fire was lit and they rose like a phoenix from the ashes and became just like these incredible all-star students by the end of the year. I can name 5 right now.
And I love that idea that those kids, even though they scored at a lower percentile on the standardized test than those highest kids, they outshone them and everyone in the classroom knew it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the highest percentile kid no longer gets the spotlight.
Yeah.
If they did not put the effort
If they didn't put the effort, and if they did, great.
Then they still get the spotlight.
Right. They still get the spotlight, but they're not getting it for showing up.
Right.
But the way I'm differentiating in this classroom, and the way that we discussed, there's 2 great ways to differentiate. One is giving more XP to students who are, for lack of better terms, who are lower academically, for the same learning task as another student who is higher academically. So if you wanted to say for this learning target in Khan Academy, you're going to get 25 XP, whereas another student will get 15 XP. Because that challenge was more, that chasm for them to get over was wider. And so that, since the leap was greater, the amount of XP they earned was greater. The other way that you can do it is assigning a similar task that is at a different level and then assigning the same amount of XP. And that's essentially what differentiation is.
Right.
And so for this classroom, I'm using multipliers.
Okay.
So I'm using the first option. And so students who are, I'm just looking at like standardized test percentiles. And students who are in like the bottom range, I think they have a multiplier of 2. And then students who are in the middle bottom range, their multiplier is like 1.5. And then a multiplier of 1 for the middle kids, and then the high kids a multiplier of like I think 0.75, so that they don't just run away with the game.
So you were saying that some of these kids, third grade kids, behind level, like do any of them do like second grade?
Yeah,
Khan
one student's
Academy?
doing a different Khan Academy mission altogether. That was a decision his teacher and I made based off of just kind of where he's at. You know, he's new to our school. He has a lot of gaps, and so we looked at what his needs were and said like it would be super beneficial because again, this is a review tool. This isn't a primary like core instruction tool. Right. This would be a great tool for him to go back and do some review from the earlier learning that he missed.
And we talked about this a lot, like the use of Khan Academy. Like how are these kids who are behind going to get better at math? I mean, the answer is simple. They need more time to do math.
Right.
And this is why we incentivize Khan Academy so much. And it was the extra math.
And the other layer to that is Khan Academy is available on any device. Mm-hmm. And so you can just use it on a phone, you can use it on a tablet, you can use it. And so all the kids really do have access at home as well. And so that the kids who are really running away with it, it's a mix of levels. Mm-hmm. Like really, it truly is.
And I think that's so important, right? Because on the cabinets in our classrooms, right? Yeah. We had these posters, we had the levels, and then everybody could see them, right? At the end of the year then, like your level truly reflected how much you learned.
And how hard you worked.
How hard you worked at it.
And that's like when I walk into a classroom now. So when I walk into a classroom to be the level up guy. So in 5th grade, I'm walking into the classroom. It's like I post that on the wall fresh. And then like the teacher's like, all right, everyone, you can go look. Cause they're all, it's like a dog being told to sit and being told to hold. They're all just like, they're all trying to see. She's like, fine, go. And they rush over and run around and so the first column is their rank. Mm-hmm. The second column is their character's name. And so this is an important thing that we do. And it's not a cornerstone, but we do have the kids give themselves character names. It's fun. They have avatar names. And so I always do 8 characters in a name. I don't know letters, or I do only letters, no numbers, because I don't know. For me, it just gets confusing to see like 7 ZB wide. And I just don't want anything inappropriate skipping in there that I don't know about. But maybe that's my old man coming out, my grumpy old man. And then the next column, I have their actual name, and that's just for the teacher because the teachers, so it's just their first name. Then the next column is their current level. And then the next column is how many levels they leveled up. Mm. And this is you haven't seen this. But then that's just like shows like who had the most level ups this week. It's just another way to like just be like, ooh, look, I grew 8 levels this week. I grew 2 levels. I grew 0 levels. Mm. But that's it.
So let me recap this 3rd grade game first.
Go ahead and recap.
Okay. This isn't even like they're not actually playing a game yet. Even though it is a game, correct. No one's actually playing a game.
The core of the classroom game is card collecting.
Okay.
This is a huge thing with this generation of kiddos. They love collecting cards.
Well, I did.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe I guess it's been a huge thing with generation of kiddos forever.
Right. Okay. So that's why not use it? Why
reinvent the wheel?
Mm-hmm. And I think this is really, really important for teachers to understand. Even like the game that we played.
Yeah.
We like ate breakfast in our classroom, and that's when we played the game. It was like 10 minutes, 10, 15 Tops. Minutes a day.
Yeah.
Okay. When they were eating breakfast.
Right.
That's how much we played a game.
Right.
The rest of it was like powering yourself up, like gaining more skills by turning in the XP or the gold that you earned for learning.
And for that happened once a week. Mm-hmm. On my no specials day.
Right.
We had no special, whatever the day was of the week, it rotated. but we had a day with no prep. And on that day, we'd have the kids work on independent work while we called them back one by one to turn in their XP and conference with them about their progress through the week.
Right. So we're having individualized conferences about their behavior, about their academic growth, about any concerns that we had.
Right.
And we put it in a system that was fun.
Exactly. A spoonful of sugar
Right.
makes the medicine go down.
I love it.
All right. Are you ready for the quote?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. We'll wrap it up with this. If you focus on what you've left behind, then how can you see what lies ahead?
If you focus on what was left behind.
If you focus on what you left behind, then how can you see what lies ahead?
We'll go movie.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It is Chef Gusteau from Ratatouille.
Ah, very good.
Yes. 3 points for you, Mr. Becker.
That's it? No, I thought I got a bonus point.
No, I told you who it was.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, I was never going to get this one.
No.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
Then we'll end it right there. It's just same theme. Let's move on. I think it's time for the new. It's time for the fresh. Let's make this thing happen.
I love it.
All right.
Let's do it.